Going from marriage to rehab in months, hiding from the family in a closet, and singing about their sex life. Tabloids love picking on A-list couples, but could there really be trouble for Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban? When Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban first met, they didn't start dating straight away. The reason? Urban waited a whopping 4 months to reach out to Kidman. In a 2017 interview, Kidman shared what really went down, saying on The Ellen DeGeneres Show, "I remember thinking I had such a crush on him, and he wasn't interested in me. It's true, he didn't call me for 4 months. As it turns out, Urban was just nervous. In 2024, he shared the reason that he didn't reach out to his wife right away while giving a speech about her, telling the crowd at the 49th AFI Life Achievement Award Gala, "I was trying to play it cool, but inside I felt like I'd snuck into the royal ball simply because Nick had such a truly otherworldly aura about her. I felt a bit like I was meeting a real-life princess." One reason that Kidman and Urban's marriage might not last may simply come down to statistics. Kidman's first marriage to Tom Cruise was highly publicized. The two were very much the it couple. After her marriage failed, Kidman admitted to being cautious when it came to falling in love again. She told Harper's Bazaar in 2021, "I'm wary at times and I've been hurt, but at the same time I much prefer a warm approach rather than a prickly shutdown approach. My husband Keith says that when he met me, he said, 'How's your heart?' and I apparently responded, 'Open.'" Statistically speaking, second marriages are at risk due to a number of different factors. In a piece written for Find a Psychologist, Larry F. Waldman, PhD, says that some 65% of second marriages fail due to a variety of reasons, ranging from kids to jealousy and everything in between. The psychologist suggests people who go through a divorce seek counseling in order to properly heal and move on from the relationship. It's unknown if Kidman followed any such regimen for her mental health, but it's possible that issues from her past could creep into her current marriage. Shortly after tying the knot, Kidman staged an intervention for Urban. In 2022, Urban spoke with The Times about using alcohol and cocaine as a coping mechanism in the early days of his career. The singer first went to rehab in 1998, but only months after he married Kidman in 2006, he was admitted to the Betty Ford Clinic. As Urban told the outlet, "My dad was an alcoholic, so I grew up in an alcoholic house, and it took me a long time to believe I was wired the same." During his tribute to Kidman at the AFI Life Achievement Award Gala, Urban spoke candidly about going to rehab, telling the audience, "Barely 4 months into our marriage, the addictions that I had done really nothing about blew our marriage to smithereens. 4 months into a marriage, and I'm in rehab for 3 months with no idea what was going to happen to us." He credits his wife with choosing love and ultimately saving his life, though Urban's sobriety could be enough to put a strain on his marriage. In 2008, Kidman and Urban decided to lay down some roots in Nashville, Tennessee. While that seemed like a good spot for them given their respective careers, travel schedules, and growing family, things got a bit hectic in 2022. When Kidman's mother fell ill, she and Urban decided it was best to move to Australia. The move was a no-brainer for the family, especially Kidman, who wanted to be close to her mother during her time of need. Her mother eventually passed away in September 2024. However, living down under made travel a little tricky for Urban. Though the country music artist was born in New Zealand and lived in Australia growing up, he has tour stops all over the world. With many of those venues located in the US, it undoubtedly made things complicated. Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban don't seem to be on the same page when it comes to what they share publicly. Kidman appears to be a little more private and conservative, whereas Urban tends to share a bit more with the public. Urban has used Kidman as a muse for his music, and even sang about their sex life in his lyrics. In the song Gemini, he calls her, quote, "a maniac in the bed, but a brainiac in her head." During an appearance on the Kyle and Jackie O show in 2019, Kidman admitted that some of the stuff makes her uncomfortable, though she was happy that Urban was at least complimentary.
It is embarrassing, but at the same time, he's, yes, it's better than saying, "God, I'm so bored."
Yes. In 2023, Urban wanted to share some never-before-seen footage from his wedding to Kidman during one of his shows in Las Vegas, but said that he needed to get his wife's permission to do so. In an interview with People, he said he talked the idea over with his wife, ultimately getting the okay to show only a little bit of the tape. Like plenty of A-list couples, Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban have found themselves the subjects of many divorce rumors over the years. In 2018, for example, Life and Style ran a story that claimed Urban walked out on his wife following some fights, with the outlet claiming that Urban had moved out and was living at a hotel. The two are still together as of 2024, though one could always argue that where there's smoke, there's fire. Either way, it's no secret that stories like that can take their toll, and the rumors can be especially hard on the kids, even when the couple puts in extra effort for the family to be together.
And we have 2 kids, so we literally move heaven and earth to be together. And
while chatting on the Kyle and Jackie O show, Urban expressed just how tough those rumors are on the whole family, saying, "When you have kids, it changes, because that's really hurtful to kids because they don't quite understand." Kidman and Urban are very supportive of each other's respective careers, but sometimes their schedules get in the way, and this can definitely cause some tension in any marriage. In 2022, Urban was forced to fly to Nashville for the CMA Awards without his wife. Evidently, Kidman was in Baltimore, Maryland, working on the Paramount Plus show Lioness. While walking the red carpet solo, Urban was faced with questions about where his wife was and why she wasn't by his side.
She's doing a film in Baltimore. We weren't quite expecting this to happen, but film schedules are unpredictable.
In 2024, Kidman sat out the CMT Awards despite the fact that her husband was performing. During an interview on the red carpet, Urban was asked if he'd ever do a collaboration with Kidman, to which the singer responded,
"She's always making movies, I'm always making records.
You're like,
You gotta find the time."
You're like,
Urban was then asked for his advice on a successful marriage. His answer?
I have no advice for anybody. You guys figure out whatever works for you.
In addition to skipping out on some of Urban's work obligations, Kidman also didn't attend her father-in-law's funeral. In 2015, Robert Bob Urban died following a battle with cancer. The Daily Mail posted photos of Keith arriving at the funeral service for his dad in Queensland, Australia, and Kidman was nowhere to be found. A source told Closer Weekly that Kidman couldn't get away from her job to attend, with the source going on to say, "She is committed to her work. Keith loves that about her. He is very forgiving." Keith Urban loves his family life, but he's greatly outnumbered. With a wife and 2 daughters, being the man of the house is quite literal for Urban, but sometimes being surrounded by women takes its toll. In an interview with Marie Claire in 2020, Nicole Kidman revealed that she has often found her husband seeking isolation, saying, "At times, he just needs to escape with his guitar. Sometimes I'll find him in his closet playing guitar. That's when I know we really need to give him space. Oh, and he Googles cars. I'll know when he's stressed because he's Googling cars." Indeed, it's been a change of pace for Urban, who admitted to, quote, learning an enormous amount being a girl dad after growing up with his mom as the only woman in the house. While doing press for The Perfect Couple in 2024, Nicole Kidman faced an onslaught of questions about what makes a perfect relationship, and one of her answers raised some eyebrows. While chatting with the Associated Press, Kidman insinuated that her marriage is anything but perfect, saying, "I don't think anyone's the perfect anything. I think you're heading for trouble if you consider yourself the perfect couple. I'm not a believer in perfect." In a separate interview with E! News, Kidman held her ground on the subject, saying, "There's no perfect anything. Anything that's presented as perfect, forget it." When the interviewer asked about Kidman's relationship with Urban appearing perfect to people on the outside, Kidman said, "I don't see any of that." One strange thing about Kidman and Urban's marriage is that they don't text each other. Despite texting becoming one of the most popular ways for people to communicate, the couple has a rule in place they both follow religiously. Kidman explained on a 2023 episode of the Something to Talk About podcast, "We never text each other. Can you believe that? We started out that way. I was like, if you want to get a hold of me, call me." In an interview with Parade in 2018, Kidman went a bit deeper in explaining why she and Urban don't text. She told the outlet that it started off that way because she didn't know how to text. From there, however, she felt it was best to have, quote, voice-to-voice communication because things are less likely to get misinterpreted. She did say that the couple does talk on the phone a lot via calls and FaceTime, though. "We just don't text because I feel like texting can be misrepresentative at times. And I've had the thing where I reread texts and I'm like, what does that mean? And then read it to somebody and go, can you interpret that? I don't want that between my lover and I."